This is why boarding schools should be phased out. You understand that our boarding schools have turned into maximum security prisons, and we are paying a heavy price for it. Because when you lock students down with punishing schedules, with zero breathing room, and hyper surveillance, especially in girls' schools ruled by fear, you don't build discipline. You are building a pressure cooker, and that is what is happening, especially in second terms, because all of us have been in boarding schools and we understand this, on how this suffocating environment doesn't inspire excellence. It breeds deep resentment, mental execution, and the tragic desperation that leads to school fires. It is time to stop policing our children and start educating them. That is what I'm doing this video, to send a clear message to those responsible, because we must dismantle this prison model and prioritize mental well-being and give our young people a voice before the system burns itself down completely. For other people who have been in these international schools, you understand the freedom that is available. School should not be a prison. It should be a place that gives conducive environment for a person to study. And to study what? In these normal prisons, schools that we see every day. Studying from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. Studying for what? What are the studies guaranteeing them? What is the guarantor that when they do all those hard torture of their brains, they are going to get anything beneficial from that colonial prison named?
Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are. This is MIKEANN'S reaction, and I'm very glad with you guys for your great support each and every time. So, guys, today's member of parliament, they have a motion that says that they don't want need boarding school in this country, and the reason why they don't want to do with boarding school is that disadvantage of boarding school is more than advantage, and they want to that motion of a boarding school to be as quick as possible so that the students or some students can continue with their education. What about your opinion? Are you agree with them that boarding school is nothing to do with it, so it's better to close the schools of boarding so that Kenya can grow very well? So subscribe, watch, and like the video, then I will come for more reaction. Remember to give this video a support of subscriber, please, please, please. That is my request, is not my command. Thank you as you are watching the video.
Mr. Speaker, we as members of parliament can pass a law that says something on boarding schools, which I suggest we should not have boarding schools because, Mr. Speaker, more deaths have come because of these boarding schools. You can all remember, honorable members, when our children open school, we are told a certain bus has caused an accident, a certain bus, all the directions where our children go. That's number one, and safety for our learners. Number two, we must have suggestion box in our schools so that our learners can express their dissatisfaction, and the committee which will be formed can go around, Mr. Speaker, and get to know what the learners are going through. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
As we examine ourselves and agree with the majority leader, we must examine the values that we are instilling in the children. We must examine the place of religion. Many of us, when we are growing up, raising a child was a collective responsibility. Now it has been left to the parent and the teacher. The teacher is disempowered because there's not much the teacher can do other than warn. Many of us parents, once we submit the child to school, we wash our hands. The child is left to the internet. Some of the things they are doing are things that clearly can only be brought from the internet. We must re-examine even the place of access to the internet for everyone. Mr. Speaker, I say only two things as I finish. One, I think it is time that as Parliament we form an ad hoc committee to examine unrest in schools. It is not enough to leave it to the department anymore. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I think that we must also re-examine the circumstances that we're putting the schools to. If you look at the images of that school, and that's a high-end school, you see that the dormitory was highly congested. There were beds on the corridors, there were beds next to the door. This 100% transition without the proper infrastructure is part of the problem.
Do you think boarding schools are bad? I'll say boarding school inaweza kuwa na advantage na disadvantage. The first advantage, boarding school will help you, to know how to live life and to live with others. It will teach you survival. But again, if you're not grounded on values, boarding school is an open check. Many behaviors are there. I will suggest if you can stay with your child until class 8, the better. But even high school is becoming worse. Personally, if I get an opportunity, I may not take my children to boarding school. Wacha nionange kaki-change daily. Because, 3 months, that child, the things they know, versus 1 month, that child can act.
Kama zenye wanajua na day school.
Yes.
Na anaenda anarudi uko like guy.
But you see, day school, you can know when your child is changing because you are seeing them daily.
Yeah.
But boarding, you take an innocent person, you don't know who came back home. So personally, I'm for day school. Because of what I went through, I wouldn't suggest, especially boarding is on a primo.
I would rather we have late graduation than no one to graduate. Shut down boarding schools. And let every boarding school adhere to rules that will save our children. Shut them down. We can afford a year backwards. But we should not afford a year without our children. A future without our children. Shut down. Let government go to every school looking at fire extinguishing methods until our children are safe. Retreat. Retreat. Me, I would rather have a D-plane student but a living student. Mtoto wangu wako hai. Nita deal naye baadaye. Nitamwachia shamba. Yeah? Yeah. Let me deal with E, elephant, but my children are alive to see their father at work. Defend the nation. Kale bosi saliga. Mamvele sabari hadayas. Kedelahiso sefila. Andu breketoya. Yeah. Ask, you have a school here. Uliza principal. Guy, the children brought me a report. And I told the principal, if the fact that the children have brought me a report and I hear you beat them for talking to me, we'll deal with you. So I called the principal. The kids, they ran, and they know me. They ran to me. Whether they are right or wrong, listen to your children. Listen. It's not an issue of they are lying or they are not lying. Listen to them. Because if you won't, Satan will listen. And he also always gives a way out. You best believe me. So I'm not here to preach the way you are thinking she already did it. I'm here to execute so that this lamentation can end. There are things we don't need even to be speaking much. It's just lack of wisdom. And when I say this, someone is already now doing toa hizo tongues zako hapa. Sounding spiritual and there is nothing you have. This is an issue we can deal with. Just set necessary measures. If you go to State House, and fire starts, who here thinks the president will ban? Lift your hand if you are here and you think if fire starts in State House, the president will be among the casualties. Lift your hand. Why wouldn't the president be among the casualties? Because we state, protect our president. Ramasikata. You know, I know the tongues of the newlyweds. Simba jikazeni tu. Hata mimi nilikuwa hapo. Mama yande. Abababa. Hauna ingine ndio unairudia. You know you don't have another tongue, so you are repeating that one. Si mbaya, jikaze. Ni kugrow. Hata si tulikuwa hapo, we kept growing. But lazima tukwambie ukweli. We will tell you, you are still in kindergarten. If you go to your child that is in kindergarten and say, Mama, you're in kindergarten, are you proud? Are they not in kindergarten? Yes, you must be willing to be told the truth. You are foolish. That's the truth. Lakini hakuna haja cheki, sijui nitakwambia, muambie venye iko, wewe ni fala buda, cheki iko hivi. The way you behave like a fool, but the grace of God is sufficient. Yeah, say the truth first, then release Say it as it is, then release the option. So me, that's the way I am.
Kuna shule pengine mtoto akienda sehemu zingine atasoma vizuri. Kuna zingine ambazo ni day school, naweza kutembea kwenda huko. Unajua there was that kind of discussion some time back, na tukaona kwamba it was meant to discourage. Unajua kwanza ita promote mambo ya sectionalism, mambo ya ukabila. Kuna sehemu zingine zilikuwa zimeenda mbele sana, sehemu kama Alliance, ukisema all schools ziwe day school. So kuna wale ambao watatembea tu kwenda Alliance High School, Alliance Boys, na sehemu zingine zenye hazina shule ambazo zimekomaa kama zile zitakuwa disadvantage. So at least boarding school is properly managed because it also leads to integration na watu kuwa na unity. It becomes now like you become a nationalist. If I come from Bungoma na nimesomea Homa Bay, una mix na watu wengine kutoka eneo zingine.
Kosi ukiangalia hata wale watoto wenye wamechomeka ni kama walikuwa wanashika hizo mamatris wakijifunika na uso wakikuja tu kwa mlango, na kama hiyo mlango ilikuwa imefunguliwa hao watoto wangeexit, lakini hiyo mlango ilikuwa imefungwa na lock. Hiyo ni weakness kubwa sana kwa management ya shule, sababu tunaambiwa hata msichana vile amenieleza hata watoto wengine walikuwa forced kunaruka kwa
I will be very candid and open. I'm really against boarding schools. If you want to bring a child to this world, learn to take care of this child. Host them in your house. Give them a good life. After they become adults, they will go anyway. You know, spend time with your children. Mold them. Because when they're in the schools, you're not the one molding them. They're being molded by someone else. They end up being like how someone else wants them to be, not how you want them to be and how they expect it to be. Yeah. So these are the things that we also need to ask ourselves. Do we really need boarding schools in this modern day and time where we even have internet? You understand? So I feel like this is like a temporary prison also. I mean, how it's looking in this kind of time where, you know, we're putting people somewhere and they're not allowed to go and da-da-da-da-da. It feels like a prison in a part of the world.
Okay guys, let us proceed. Hope you have seen the video and you understand what is going on in our country. Because I always say that this country, new things is happening each and every time. When you compare today or tomorrow, you will get that something that happens today is greater than something that happens tomorrow or the day after. So as we are talking now, motion, it is an parliament which says that no boarding school in Kenya. A member of parliament, they don't want to see boarding school because they are saying that boarding school, it has more disadvantage than advantage. And these things that happens days ago, which is a boarding school of Ushindi, and it makes that 16 students were dead, then that thing inafanya kwamba wanaona kwamba hakuna umuhimu wa kuwa na shule ya boarding school hapa nchini. But kuna wazazi pia wanaunga mkono, wanasema kwamba that thing iondolewe kwenye nchi, na pia kuna wengine wanasema ya kwamba isije ikaondolewa kwa maana licha ya yote bado ina umuhimu, bado inasaidia. So according to you, my viewers, what is your opinion? Are you do you want to say that it's better to do away with a boarding school, or boarding school is better? Because according to my days when I'm in school, I remember scenario kama hii ishaifanyika each and every time hadi shule zikawa zimefungwa for a period of time so that hii kitu itulie, because daily shule zilikuwa zinachomwa kila siku. Na wakati ambao tulikuwa tunasoma ilikuwa wakati ambao waziri wa elimu alikuwa Fred Matiang'i, na unaweza kumbuka ukali ambao Fred Matiang'i alikuwa nao hadi akasababisha wengine tukapata grade ambazo tulizipata mashallah. Na akawa amesema ya kwamba shule zote ziweze kufungwa ili uchunguzi uweze kufanyika na kuimarika kulingana na ama janga ambalo limeibuka kwenye mashule tofauti tofauti, na pia yalikuwa tu mashule ya boarding ndio yalikuwa yanapata hayo majanga kwa wingi. So guys, as we are talking now, kule bungeni kuna mswada ambao umepelekwa na unasemekana ya kwamba shule za mabweni ziweze kufungwa ili kuweza kupunguza majanga ya moto, because ukiangalia shule ya upili ya Ushindi kuna watoto takriban watoto 16 waliweza kuaga dunia kwa mkasa wa moto, na as we are talking now kuna wanafunzi zaidi ya wanafunzi 8 wametiwa mbaroni kwa kusababisha mauti ya wenzie, na utapata ya kwamba hao waanzilishi wa hilo janga la moto kwa hakika wameua innocent students ambao ni wanafunzi wasiokuwa na hatia, ama wanafunzi ambao hawakuweza kufanya lolote ili waweze kukutana na kifo chao. So huo mswada uko pale bungeni, but wewe kama mtazamaji wangu ambaye unatazama MIKEANN'S reaction, ningependa tukuuliza swali kwa wale ambao mnanitazama kwa sasa. Je, wewe unakubaliana na hili swala la kusema ya kwamba shule za boarding ziweze kuondolewa? Because ni mswada mzito na wazazi wanaunga mkono, wengine asilimia kubwa ya wazazi wanasema ya kwamba iondolewe, but asilimia niseme kama asilimia 60 hivi wanasema iondolewe, lakini asilimia 40 wanasema kwamba ni ajali kama ajali za kawaida. Lakini kwa hakika Waswahili hawakukosea waliposema ya kwamba usipoziba ufa na utajenga ukuta. So shule za mabweni, je, zitaziba aje ufa wao kabla mambo hayajazidi? Kwa maana kwa hakika usilolijua ni kama usiku wa giza, na ni lazima uweze kudadavua, kwa maana Waswahili wanasema usipojua maana kwa hakika hawaambiwi maana. Swala kuu ambalo linatokea ili wanafunzi wafanye haya matukio tofauti tofauti ni yapi, ama uzito uko wapi, ama nini kinachosababisha kila siku haya mambo yatokee? Hayo ndio maswali ambayo serikali yapaswa ijiulize chanzo na kiini. Wajua ya kwamba ukitaka kuung'oa mti na usije ukaota tena, wapaswa uchimbe na mizizi zake ili ukauhamishe na kuupanda mahali kwingine. Na ukisema tu ya kwamba uweze kuukata, kwa hakika utaweza kuota tena, lakini utakapoung'oa na utakuwa umeuhamisha. Hilo janga pia la paswa liangaliwe kwenye kilindeni cha mzizi ili liweze kung'olewa na liweze kutatuliwa once and for all, because wasipolitatua ni janga ambalo litaweza kuendelea na janga ambalo litakuwa linafanyika each and every time. But je, according to you, nataka nimalize uchambuzi wangu nikisema, je, wewe unaona vipi kwa hili swala la shule za boarding? Are you agree to say no more boarding school in Kenya? Thank you for watching me. You was MIKEANN'S reaction. 3 things: love, peace, and unity. Remember to sub.